Okay, you may now begin.
Okay, thank you. Today is April 21st, 5:10 p.m. and we are meeting here for the HOCP's board meeting. Welcome all board members and especially the HOC staff, which worked hard to make this possible, especially even after regular hours in the evening. And as we start the meeting, I suppose everybody was able to spend some time reviewing the minutes from the last meeting. So I want to start off by asking if there were any questions on the minutes for the previous meeting. So I guess silence is good.
Good.
And if there are none, then I propose a motion to approve. Any seconds?
Yeah, I'll move it.
And I second it. Then all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. So the minutes from the January 26th, 2022 meeting are approved. The next matter for business today is the FY 2022 third quarter financial reports. They are on page 6. And I will give the floor to John to help us go through those. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Varun. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Hope you had a chance to look over the financial reports. As you see, most of activity on the expense side has come from programs that are supported by your discretionary funding awards. So those are all implemented by HOC Academy, and also included in the cover memo, you'll see the balances left on all of the discretionary funding awards, and ultimately factoring them in what is still available from the general fund that is completely undesignated, which is 123,250. So, there hasn't been any activity or any request to pay on the positive financial reporting project. Also, this now the second year, FSS Scholarship Fund hasn't had any activity. We may have to re-examine this when it comes time for our budget discussion. And also the STEAM activities, there's little right there showing little activity, but Stephanie Moore assured me that they're on schedule to spend down that award by the end of, or at least most of that grant by the end of this fiscal year. And also recently the board made that one award using Section 3 HOC Works, and that is also starting to pick up some momentum with tuition assistance requests from the HOC Academy. The next, let's see. So there you see our overall activity, our expenses through the third quarter, and final income. Of course, it's nice to see the percentages as they are, that we're showing a good percentage already received in terms of income. And of course, because of ongoing pandemic, the activity still hasn't picked up like we thought it would when we first drafted the budget. And our total assets are 515,533. And we recently received some, or posted some of the income, some of the donations that we received the third quarter, but they were posted just early in April, so they didn't make this report. So they'll be posted next time. And also we have another donation in the works. So you'll see our income increase even more. The next, you see the two reports from Pradeep. from our finance department, showing our financial position, our total assets and total liabilities. And next one, AJ. And then all of his numbers coincide with the numbers that I reported as well to him. And more details offered in the next two slides in the balances of our various ledgers on slide 10. And I'm sorry, that's the budget to actual to budget. And you see, and then all the balances for each of the ledgers. So does anyone have any questions? You see there's still plenty of discretionary funds for your decisions. There is one funding request in this for this meeting, and we'll talk about that pretty soon, a little bit later in the meeting. But just so you know, you have the flexibility when discussing that request.
Good.
I had one question, John.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed, I'm sorry that I came late and maybe you said something about it, but the positive financial reporting, is that still going on? The 72,000 that was set aside for that. And again, I'm sorry if I missed it because I was late.
I think the project is still underway in terms of development, but we haven't received any requests to assist with that funding just yet.
Okay.
Donna, is that in concert with the Kresge Foundation?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so it is still ongoing. In fact, this past week, I received a request from the Kresge Foundation to complete some paperwork for the second tranche of funding. So that is it. The project is still ongoing, and I will be assigning someone to take over the ongoing monitoring of the work that's being done by the vendor, so that we can have reports that we can share with you. But there hasn't been, as John said, a request for funding from HOCP yet, but it is ongoing.
Okay, thank you.
That's good.
So I guess there are no more questions. Thank you, John. That was very helpful. So if there are no more questions, then we can move on to resolution 22-02 on page 14. I think for this, we will need an action item for approval for the FY 2021 IRS 990 form filing. The form is prepared by Clifton Larson, Allen, and based on the audited financial statements and the information provided by the management. I would like to open the floor for any questions from HOC board members for this 990, if you have had a chance to review. One thing, I did meet with John and I asked a question if the titles for the board members should technically be directors or board members. John was able to go back and reflect on the initial documents and was sure that the titles should be directors. And John, one more thing that I did see on my review, which you might need to check with CLA, is the signatory on the form.
Yes, we alerted them about
Okay,
the changes.
It still says Stacy over there.
Yes, we know.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay,
that's right.
I alerted Pradeep, and Pradeep referred it back to the auditors.
Okay.
Yes.
okay.
Yes. So, and also the acting CFO too, the update on that.
Okay. Thank you.
But is
So-
Christina no longer um in charge of this area? Having missed the last meeting, I'm not up to date.
Yeah, I think I don't think the 990 was discussed in the previous meeting. Teresa, I think last meeting we discussed the financial statements
Yes,
and
yes, the audit at the last meeting was formally accepted into the record. And of course, the auditors use the financial reports to complete the 990. So all those numbers have already been audited that show in the 990.
Okay.
okay, so if there are no more questions on the 990, the HOCP board authorizes HOC to ask CLA to submit the form for filing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So this item is approved. Next item on the agenda is on page 22-03 for approval of small business strategy course funding request. And I believe Stephanie Moore is here joining us, making the presentation. Stephanie?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
No.
Okay, so Stephanie Moore, Resident Services Program Supervisor at HOC, and I am here to request funding in the amount of $46,700 to continue to provide small business development opportunities for our customers. HOCP awarded HOC Academy $30,000 in this fiscal year to offer small business strategy courses, business legalization services, small business certification workshops, monthly webinars, on a variety of topics, to basically make sure that, our customers had the support that they needed to be able to legalize their business. And not only that, but to be successful business owners. With the assistance of HOCP, the Academy registered 33 students. And actually, we have 8 students that's starting the final cohort on April 25th. So that makes 41 students that have registered for the small business strategy course. So far, we have 13 students that have legalized their business and doing quite well. Actually, and then from this current cohort that ends on Thursday, we have high expectations that many of those students will also be in a position to legalize business. The monthly webinars have been a huge hit. Attendance averaged 23 participants per month. The registrations averaged 75 participants per month for each of those webinars. So that certainly sort of showed us that the monthly webinars were of interest to our customers. And for whatever reasons, many of them just could not make it for the actual presentation. But again, the average attendance was 23 participants. And the monthly webinars had a variety of topics: how to start a nonprofit, how to be a successful, how to have a successful business on YouTube and social media. So the topics were definitely high demand topics. And so we were really proud that we were able to pull that off. Regarding student success, Austin Tech actually received an email today from a previous student who reported that her private therapy practice is open for business and is doing quite well. And so she reached out to Austin Tech, which is the service provider, the vendor that hosts the small business strategy course. The previous student reached out to Austin Tech and said, "Hey, can I have another session with you? I need some consultation to sort of figure out some next steps for the business." And so Austin Tech will be working with that previous student. And Austin Tech has had several students to reach back out to them to check in and to work on specific issues, challenges, and pretty much just to really stay in contact. It's been a really good experience working with Austin Tech. So we have students that really keep us informed, and we're excited about that. And again, we have 13 students that have legalized their business. In fiscal year 23, the Academy would like to continue to offer the small business strategy courses, the monthly webinars, everything that we have done in fiscal year 22. We want to continue to do that. But what we want to add, because we found that it has been, not only has it been requested, but we feel that it's really needed based on what we have learned and some of the challenges of students, is that we want to be able to offer small scholarships up to $1,000 for 20 students, so that they can get additional training, and one-on-one coaching. So at this point, it's pretty unstructured as far as like past students being able to reconnect with Austin Tech. And so we feel like we just need, and other service providers, we want to include other service providers in one-on-one coaching, providing one-on-one coaching for students, additional training in marketing. So marketing, website development, those things have been expressed by students as like a need for them in their businesses. And so we want to be able to work with service providers, connect students with service providers that have been vetted, and pay those vendors directly to support our customers with their businesses. And of course, the students would have to go through the small business strategy course and complete it in order to be able to be eligible for those small scholarships. Yep, so I think that's pretty much it. That concludes my presentation regarding the request. Are there any questions?
What kind of businesses are these clients opening up? Do you have any idea?
Yes, so we have the private practice. So that's a professional counseling service. We have food vendors, so folks that are catering. We have folks that are selling goods, so that could be vendors that are selling t-shirts, clothing. They have clothing lines. We have businesses that are providing technology support, so IT kinds of things.
Yeah.
Taxes. I think there's like somebody who wants to do accounting or CPA, provide CPA services. So they range.
Gee.
And
Yeah.
I can do a full list of the 13 businesses, the names of the businesses. What we get from Austin Tech is we get the confirmation from the state that says that, they have a registered, they have a number and all that, and they're registered in whatever system that is that they need to be registered in, and the official name of their business. We also get a copy of their EIN documentation. And then for those who do the trade name, trademark, we get confirmation for that as well from Austin Tech. So
which one was the first one you mentioned? Sorry. Yeah, you said professional services. Which one was the first one you mentioned?
The therapy, the private practice.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Therapy, private practice.
Okay. And who's performing the services for Austin Tech? Do they have professionals and certain expertise that are doing this voluntarily, or are they paying them? Just curious to see how it's being put together.
So actually, Austin Tech, the staff at Austin Tech, so in Austin, actually works individually with the customers to create their online account, well, first they kind of work through the articles of incorporation and making sure all of their paperwork is good, the actual paper copies, and then they create an online account. So everything is submitted online. So she actually does that with the customer. So Austin Tech is the vendor. We pay the vendor directly for the legalization services.
Okay, but so and I'm not belittling it, but I'm trying to figure out what she's providing. She's just legalizing or helping them to legalize their businesses so that they can go forward and separate out their income, and into business and personal income and report it properly and maintain a separate existence for the company. Is she's not providing, or are they providing, I guess, counseling or assistance with a business plan or operating the business?
Yes.
Okay.
So each student throughout the 10-week course, that is primarily what they're working on. They work through all of the sections of the business plan. And so at the end of the 10 weeks, they have to present their business plan through the class. And those presentations are recorded and they are available to us, to staff. And so we keep a record of those. And that's a final project. Everyone has to do a final project to, get credit for completing the course. So yes, they complete the business plan. They talk to marketing strategy, sales strategy. There's 7 components that they work through, and that pretty much guides the 10 weeks. And then they have professionals that come to present during the class sessions. And those professionals, range from insurance, business insurance, and what businesses need to have as far as insurance is concerned, tax liability, all like a variety of folks that are experts in the field. They come to make these presentations during the 10 weeks.
And how many people?
Interesting.
Yep. Go ahead. How many people are we going to assist with this additional funding?
So 35.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's enough demand to cover this?
Yes,
Okay.
we think so.
Good.
Yeah, I think so. So
Good.
this year we have been able to assist with 41 students, and our orientation for the small business strategy course, we have tons of folks that, either the timing is not right, or they are certainly interested in taking the course, but they are asking for other other times that work best for their schedule. So this has been, and then all of the people that attend we get a lot of interest from the folks that are attending the monthly webinars, and for the folks that are registering for the monthly webinars. And so we have a large, pool from which we can continue to advertise and continue to recruit from, based on what we've done this year. So we believe that 35 is a number that we can certainly support. And then also we're still supporting, and helping businesses of students that have graduated already, right? So also incredibly busy because they once the students graduate and they go through their one-on-one mentoring sessions, if they choose to do the one-on-one 3-month mentoring sessions, those folks are coming back, right? They want more of her time. They have questions. They may not be ready to legalize their business right after the 10-week strategy course. And so maybe, 3 months later or 6 months later, they come back and say, okay, I'm ready to legalize my business now. Can we set up some time to talk? So everybody's on a different I feel like what I have seen and what I have learned is that everyone is on a different pace. And it just depends on what business they have, and it depends on where they are in life. And some people, we have learned, go through the 10 weeks, they finish the course and they say, wow, this was a lot. And I need some time to process this. Maybe I thought I was ready to start my business, but I need a little bit more, time to work through these particular issues. And some people have started the course and then realized that it is certainly an intensive 10 weeks. And then things have come up. So family illness, COVID-19. We've had a couple students that have gotten COVID and has just decided that they had to pull out. So some things have happened where some of the students could not finish the 10 weeks, but it is certainly an intense 10 weeks. We make that very clear during the orientation sessions that we host. But we do feel like we have 35 students that are ready to take on the process.
Okay, I mean, this is great, actually, as far as I'm concerned. It's something I think we wanted to support. So if we can help 35 or 40 people get through it, I'm glad to do it. So
I agree.
Yeah, I think the most critical stage is the time that starts after setting up those businesses between year and year 3. I think the participants need a lot more support. I know at that point, this is when they start to feel, lack of working capital, going to the bank and not getting loan.
right.
And this is what these are the things that lead to failure. And if one of the ideas that was coming to my mind while I was listening to your very powerful presentation today was that, let's say if one of the businesses, even in 3 years from now, made a profit of $50,000, we should have a reward for them to the extent of 10% of $50,000. If you made it to the $50,000 net income based on your tax return, if you're able to prove that, HOCP will reward you with 10%, something like that. So, I'm just saying that the success rate is so low.
Yes.
Because, even with all this hard work, out of the 33 or 35 participants we have, even if one made it to, a reasonable income would be a very big win. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And we actually, so there are a couple of businesses that we're trying to, so this is when the small business strategy course first was introduced to HOC Academy, we took it on as a pilot, and this was in 2019. And I think I think at that time it was like 7 students, I think, that went through that pilot course. And actually one of those students has a pretty successful massage therapy business. And I want to be able to reach back out to her and have a conversation with her. I haven't been able to sort of formalize that conversation, although I have used her business. She's a great massage therapist, by the way. But just really, and so she's well into her business, and she's made some changes as far as being mobile during the pandemic versus having a sort of like a storefront. She's been able to pivot, and she's still doing well. And that's an example of what you're saying. She's well on her way, to being in business for 5 years. And she is a full-time entrepreneur. And that would be really exciting to continue to follow her in other business such as that, to really kind of we have, so our legislative and public affairs has spoken to a couple of new business owners, and because as a part of our marketing for the course and really trying to get their experience recorded, and get some things together as far as media is concerned regarding the small business strategy course. And so it would be great to kind of keep a record of how folks are doing. And we're going to do our best to do that. What we have set up as far as so on every 3 months, we send out surveys to our business owners. And those questions pretty much ask about generally speaking, how they're doing. Do they need some additional support? Do they still have an active, customer base? Like it's just a variety of questions to kind of check in with them. And we do that every 3 months. And our goal is to do that for at least 18 months, just to kind of keep in contact with those businesses. And so we'll see, how that works, because it could be a situation where we're able to do that, on a longer term for tracking purposes. And that way we can get to see how people are doing, year 1, year 2, year 5 kind of a thing. So, but I completely agree that there could be some reward and even some incentive to really kind of stick with it and to really keep in contact with Austin Tech, who again is very supportive of our students. She spends a lot of time, a lot of one-on-one time, a lot of group time with our students to make sure that they're successful. And even after, so when it comes time for tax season, because she knows that is where, sort of like where people kind of get stuck, she makes sure that folks are able to complete their tax returns and understands what they need to, sort of like a refresher, and make sure they understand, okay, this is the paperwork that you need to complete. This is how you need to do this. And so she's very much involved with.
Yeah. Because I know even the SBA has a program, a mentoring program, which they do similar work. But I think what we need to do in this is, first of all, weed out the participants who we know will not be successful or may or end up maybe losing money. So first of all is to also make sure that during the vetting process we are trying to weed those out too, so they don't end up spending a lot of time and losing money. But then I think the ones we see, they see the potential to then sort of invest time and money there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Any more questions for Stephanie? Okay. So if there are no more questions, comments, then I would like.
Donna, I think you're on mute if you're trying to speak.
Sorry, somebody was trying to speak.
Donna, I think.
Okay.
Me? No, I wasn't trying to speak.
No, Donna, I think.
Oh, Donna.
Donna left the meeting, I guess. Oh, she's there?
Maybe she's.
Oh, she's there. Donna, were you saying something?
Oh, she's lost her
She
mic.
lost her mic.
Okay.
I don't know. AJ, David, can you help? Don't know.
It's difficult to say if we can help remotely from this
Yeah, it's on her end, perhaps.
viewpoint. Perhaps there's like I know on my computer, and I'm pretty certain on hers as well, there's probably a silk screened key that perhaps disables or enables her physical microphone. Like for example, on my Lenovo computer, it's F1, the function key. So perhaps that may.
Stephanie, she sent a comment.
Yeah. Yes. So Donna says that my issue is the need for working capital in the first 2 years. Absolutely. And that's why we certainly wanted to offer this. It's a small scholarship, again, up to $1,000. And I know that doesn't exactly sort of fully address your concern, but we also, the Academy has the same concern. Like we certainly want to do more. And I think that we also know that we have, for lack of a better term, like some limitations around that in our efforts as far as the Academy team is concerned. I think that as an agency that we can certainly, like, that is something that we would really need to continue to flesh out as far as the small business incubator is concerned, because I think in that space and with that opportunity, we would be able to lend that kind of support. But again, I think that's something that we still need to continue to flesh out and talk through. and hopefully that would be on the table again really soon. I'm hoping. But yes, we would love for these students, especially that have already gone through the course, that are connected to the academy, to really continue to get those supports. And so our way of bringing in the additional training and the additional support is to offer these scholarships and to connect them to vendors that are vetted to be able to do this. So.
Sounds
think-
good.
Sorry, Sally, go ahead, please.
Are we ready for a motion?
Yes, I guess if there's no further question from anyone, then I would like to pass a motion to approve 22-03. All in favor?
Aye.
Could someone second the motion?
I'll
I'll
second
second
it.
it. Okay.
Thank you. That's good. So all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so motion 22-03 is approved, and Stephanie, you have the funding to move ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
I think we have covered everything on the agenda today. So our next board meeting is scheduled for June the 23rd. And I believe Patricia will circulate the new meeting links closer to the meeting, and look forward to seeing you in the next meeting. So guess if there is nothing else to discuss, we can ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I will move the motion to adjourn.
Thank you so much, Ken.
Any
And
seconds?
I'll second it.
thank you. And all in favor, say aye, and then I think we
Aye.
can say, and then we can say bye.
Good.
Bye. Thank you so much, all.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll see you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good to see you.